Hey there, folks. Welcome to New York City. This is Jeribs Explains It All, and today we're going to dive deep into a role that's often misunderstood, but plays a crucial role in the world of IT. Have you ever wondered, what does a Scrum Master do? Well, if you think it's about coding or traditional management, think again. In this video, we're going to go deep into the day-to-day responsibilities of a Scrum Master, and you're going to see why it plays a crucial role in the industry of IT without even laying a finger on a single line of code. Let's get started. All right, so Scrum Master, where do we start? Scrum. So what is Scrum? Scrum is a type of Agile methodology. So Agile, again, at a high level, that's an umbrella term for methods of software development, okay? So Scrum is one of the types of Agile, and it basically it's composed of various ceremonies, okay? So that's part of the essence of it. It's trying to be lean. It's, there's multiple intents of it, but the intent of Scrum methodology is to produce incremental pieces of code and do rapid delivery for feedback, right? In traditional software development, waterfall method, right? You might hear waterfall. What happens is you'll get the requirements at the start. You'll work through the requirements. You have a basic understanding of what the client wants. You'll go through the coding. You'll go through the testing. And then what happens, right? You go to the user acceptance testing. The client looks at it. It's like, well, this is kind of what I was looking for, but now when I see it, I want this change or that change and that kind of stuff. So Scrum is trying to address that problem, right? We need to get the client involved early in the process. So that's where the incremental process comes in, that we're gonna do rapid deliveries. We call them sprints, that we wanna deliver a piece of code within maybe a 2-week sprint, that we have a very small written user story objective that we're trying to complete in 2 weeks. And that's the basics of Scrum methodology. Okay, so we talked a little bit about the Scrum methodology. Now let's talk about the Scrum Master role. So there is a development team in this process. And usually they're cross-functional, where they could be doing the development, the testing, they could be breaking out the roles. The Scrum Master, though, is not a coder. They're the servant leader. And you might think that's a little inefficient. You're gonna waste the whole roster spot, an entire roster spot on a person who's not even gonna code. Well, it's actually crucial, especially when it comes to large organizations. There are many potential distractions to the development team. So think about it, right? We talked about the intent of Scrum methodology, that it is very strict. It's got very small objectives, but it's trying to deliver in short increments. So in order to do this, the team needs to stay focused. They're gonna pull in exactly what they can accomplish in 2 weeks. That's not a lot of time to code, test, and get it ready for delivery. So there's a lot of pressure in those 2 weeks. And there's a whole planning process involved to make sure the team can only grab what they can handle. The Scrum Master needs to help in that process of making sure they grab what they think they can accomplish. And they also have to have a good mindset of the greater organization. There are many stakeholders. There's internal stakeholders and there's external stakeholders. So you could have the director of IT coming in with some requirements. Okay, but then you've got the sales team with some other important requirements, and they made a relationship with Brad during lunch, and now Brad's asking to do favors here and there. Well, that's where the Scrum Master needs to sit down their foot and be like, hey, I understand, Bill from the sales team, you've got a requirement, we'll take care of it. Let's put it in the backlog. But listen, we've got a certain objectives that we need to do within 2 weeks. And if we need to take on that requirement, that's going to derail things. We really don't want to do that. But if Bill finds it that it's so crucial to the organization that it needs to get done, well then Bill needs to talk to a different role that's the product owner. So that's the next phase of this. So the Scrum Master works very closely with a different individual. That's the product owner. That could be the client, that could be an internal stakeholder, but that's basically the person in charge of the requirements. And that should be the gatekeeper. For all requirements coming in, the product owner ultimately makes the decision and decides whether something is in or something is out. Whether we need to start the sprint, whether we need to stop the sprint, pull something out, bring something in, that's all got to flow through the product owner, because the product owner ultimately owns the product. He wants to see the end goal. He knows that, hey, if we bring in this thing Bill wants, we're not going to get it done in 2 weeks. So that's where the Scrum Master comes in. The Scrum Master needs to come into the role. He needs to manage the politics of the organization. He needs to keep everyone following the methodology, because it's easy to get distracted. He's got to coach up the product owner. He's got to make sure the product owner understands the requirements. Let's talk more about being a servant leader. So we talked about this earlier, right? You might be a Scrum Master that doesn't know how to code. So how can you help your team, right? A servant leader is you're going to do everything you can to help your team, and you can't even code? Well, there's a lot you can do. We just talked a lot about keeping the team focused, right? That is huge. Already doing that is being a servant leader. And there's so many other things that you can do. So one important aspect of Scrum methodology is the daily stand-up. And that's your daily check-in with the team. It's not just a status call. During that meeting, you really want to know what's going on. Are there any impediments? That's one of the key questions. What did they do yesterday? What will they do today? And if the updates every day are consistent, something's wrong, right? You've got to read between the lines. You've got to learn your team members. You've got to understand what's going on, right? Why is something taking a couple days? Are they stuck? Are they too shy to ask for help? Right? This is where you, as a Scrum Master, need to jump in. You need to see what's going on. You got to see the end goal. You're managing this project, this 2-week project of delivering code. That's on you. And you got to see what's going on with your developers, and if they need assistance, maybe someone else is making great progress and has some bandwidth, or maybe he's an expert in Java or this particular part of the code. Bring them together, force them to collab, set up another call, set up some additional, meetings outside of the stand-up so that they can collab and work together. You might notice overall there's like a greater knowledge gap missing. Maybe SQL is an important skill that this team needs, and 2 to 3 members are not that strong in it. Well, go reach out to the organization, talk to your product owner, talk to the other directors within the organization and say, hey, our team could be this more efficient if you schedule some trainings for us. Let's get these guys trained up. I promise you, they're gonna deliver for you. Just get them the training they need, right? So these are just some of the examples of being a servant leader. Ultimately, you just gotta roll up your sleeves. You gotta listen to your team and just do whatever you need for them. And that's really some of the day-to-day responsibilities and how to be a strong Scrum Master. If you take anything out of this video, I just want you to remember that a Scrum Master, at the end of the day, is just a servant leader. Again, it's very important to understand the ins and outs of Agile methodology. You want to be the coach. You want to make sure the team is following the right processes, using the right tools and systems. But at the end of the day, you are not a manager. You are not a coder. You are a servant leader. You are just going to do anything in your power to help your team meet the objectives, reach your goals, and help your company succeed. Again, if you want to go a little deeper now at this point, what I recommend is take a look at this video that's going to go into how to obtain your certified Scrum Master certification. Take a look at that to learn more. But for today, that's a wrap. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe. We've got a lot more videos coming out. Scrum Master, project management, you name it. We're coming out with a lot more content. Be on the lookout. Please like and subscribe. We really appreciate it. Thank you very much.